Welcome back to the Bellringers podcast where we talk about all things sports,
betting,
and we sprinkle a little bit of pop culture in there.
As always, please subscribe at youtube.com/thebellringerspod and follow us on our social medias on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at bellringerspod. Like our videos, send them out to your friends, and then on Spotify, we're also at bellringerspod.
Yes.
Follow, rate,
comment, everything. I'm Tyler Press.
I'm Ryan McDonald. Starting out today, we have some MLB, some NBA, some little NFL news, and then probably a decent amount of March Madness, as this technically kicked off last night with the playing games. We have two more tonight, and then tomorrow is the first Thursday of March Madness.
Yes, let's go. Me and Ryan both have our brackets already made. I don't know.
I'm going to be making changes to mine constantly. I look at it probably at least 10 times a day.
Do you really? Jesus.
Well, I mean, I have it up until tomorrow. There's some things where I'll explain it when we get to it. But the MLB season has technically kicked off, even though it hasn't for most teams. The Dodgers did go down to Tokyo and beat up on the Cubs, beat them twice in the Tokyo series, and now they both come back and play more spring training games, which to me is still one of the dumbest ideas. Tokyo series is cool. I think I want to go to Japan at one point and watch some baseball games over there, as their baseball culture seems pretty fun. Good times. You have beer girls walking around with backpacks full of beer, just filling them up like a keg.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's pretty sweet.
Like kegs as backpacks?
Yeah, and then they just have like a little a nozzle that just fill up your beer.
Okay,
So those are pretty cool, and some of the traditions they have. Pretty sure one time Ohtani hit a home run and literally everyone got to see the ball and they got passed back around to the girl that caught it, which would never happen in America. Someone would rip that and run away.
Someone's immediately snagging it and taking it.
So they're a little bit more respectful, I think.
Yeah, I would say that.
And then they also have right now a pretty cool tournament going on for all the high school teams, where all of them kind of go in a big tournament to see who's the best. It's kind of cool to see some of the better players that are probably going to be joining the MLB soon.
Okay. I do like that.
But other than that, the Phillies getting pretty hot in spring training. I think we have like 70 runs scored over our past 4 or 5 games.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're getting a lot.
Damn.
And our pitching's getting a lot better. Alvarado had a disgusting curveball he threw to Tommy Pham the other day. Just Tommy Pham had no idea what he was looking at.
Wait, 70 runs in 4 or 5 games?
It was something crazy like that.
That's like unheard of, right?
I know it was 70-something. I might be getting the amount of games wrong, but it was a good amount.
Yeah, look at
we had
12 runs, 13 runs a game.
Well, we had 12 one game, we had 16 another, we had 18 another game.
Shit.
So and then 12 another one. So it was
okay.
It was about 70 runs within 7 or 8 games probably.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
But some of our pitching is looking pretty good. Christopher Sanchez, he's on a tear. I think he pitched about 4 innings the other night, no runs, a couple of hits. He's getting a lot more velocity on his fastball, which was one of his issues last year coming and finally starting. He's more of a ground ball hitter, he throws it, get ground balls. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping he's going to get more his K percentage up this year.
Awesome news. Some new food added to Citizen Bank Park as well, right?
Yeah, we got 3 new food items. We got Kyle's Cutlets, Red Velvet Avocado, and S'mores Quesadilla, which the S'mores Quesadilla at first I thought of it. I was like, that's going to be gross. But then once I realized they were putting no meat and cheese in there, I was like, all right, it's not as
I think they're just adding chocolate and marshmallow to a chicken quesadilla.
You never know.
I'm curious, are they doing a tortilla shell with that though?
Yes, it is. But
shell?
that'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it is it's Nutella, mini marshmallows, and graham cracker crumble in a crispy flour tortilla served with chocolate dipping sauce. We'll try and have the pictures put in here, but it does look pretty good.
Yeah, that does look good. Yep. I'm excited for it.
And then the Red Velvet Avocado is red velvet cookies, vanilla ice cream, and espresso, which also sounds like pretty good. Not something I typically have in a baseball game.
No.
That's going to be something, especially with the espresso, I think I'm probably just going to get beginning of the year if they have it. It's not really a June, July game kind of.
Well, is it ice cream, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but the hottest... Well, yeah, I guess for the...
it's a cold
that's
snack.
Fair. I'm just looking at it. I'm thinking about espresso, but I guess it'd be fun.
Yeah, I think it's I think it'd be pretty refreshing, honestly.
Yeah.
Hot weather game.
Yeah, it's fair. It's gonna definitely be a good little pick me up.
Yeah,
that's a game where I'm not gonna want to go in with 3 beers
and then crushing avocado after that.
That's more of I'm gonna try and be sober this game.
Yeah, let me try some delicious treats.
But
what's on the cutlets?
The one I'm looking for the most is a cutlet. Kyle's Cutlets, chicken cutlet sandwich topped with creamy burrata, crispy fried pepperoni, and arugula drizzled with a sweet and spicy hot honey sauce.
Ooh.
On a Lissio's baker roll. That and a portion of the proceeds from every sandwich will be donated to Kyle Schwarber's Neighborhood Heroes charity.
That sounds pretty damn good.
One, you can help the community and get a good snack.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, I do like the sound of that.
I mean, it looks delicious.
And come season time, we didn't get our season tickets this year, but we
can
will.
always get them.
Yeah, I mean it's getting very close to the time period of.
Yeah, but you can get them throughout the season.
Okay.
They just give you smaller ones.
Yeah. But we will do our best to get to the stadium. I know you guys like when we do our trying the foods of the stadium videos, so we'll try to get over there and give you a video for each one of them. But moving on to NFL, you go with MLB.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to NFL. There were, I think is it 3 or 4 teams technically 4 teams, but we already covered one of them that are proposing rule changes for next year in the NFL. One of them that we already covered was the Green Bay Packers, who are just absolutely fed up with the tush push, and they pushing this new rule for the sake of players' health being one aspect and time management being the other. And some countering statistics are that not one person got injured during a tush push throughout the entire season last season. And the only time it was a real time management issue was when Louvu would jumped over the line of scrimmage about 6 or 7 times and caused a delay, which the refs immediately addressed and said, if he keeps doing this, we have the right to just reward this team score. Like, you can't just delay the game that much. So I don't think they have much ground to stand on in that one.
No, they just about hurt.
Yeah, they're just sad because they clearly cannot run the play. The Detroit Lions want to change the seeding of the playoffs.
Yes.
Which I think big part of it was this last year with the Vikings having, I think, the second or third best record and end up being the 5th seed.
So the Vikings, the way they want to do it is just no division winners are like, obviously the best division winner that has the best record in the conference gets the 1 seed.
Right.
But then after that, it just goes strictly by record. So this year, the Lions would have had the 3 seed, and the Packers would have had the 5. But instead,
the Lions would have the 1 seed.
Sorry, the Vikings would have had the 3 seed, and the Packers would have the 5. But instead, the Vikings had the 5 seed, and the Packers had the 7 because they were wild card teams.
And I can see in a division like the Lions are in, which is Lions, Vikings, Packers, this is a rule that would benefit you guys because you could, having that top division in the NFC, arguably the top division in the NFC. Anyone who, if you don't win the first division, if you don't win your division, you're still going to end up with a good spot rather than the way it is now where if you don't win the division, you're dropping all the way down to the 5th seed. So it makes sense for someone in that division to be proposing this rule. I mean, I get it.
It's also it's partially all right.
You have that shitty division that doesn't deserve
it's also if you get the 1 seed and you obviously get the bye, your first game of the divisional round might be against a team that's actually better than someone that your 2nd or 3 seed team are going to play in the divisional round.
Right.
So some of it kind of just might come down it's not really fair that I had to play the harder team just because they got ranked lower because
I mean, we played the Packers, and I think the Packers are better than a few teams that were also in the playoffs.
But that was a wild card.
Yeah, but weren't we the highest seed versus the lowest seed?
Yes.
And the Packers didn't deserve to be the lowest seed, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
So, that's in that situation, we probably would have played Rams or Bucks, probably, in that spot.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you're the lowest of the wild card teams, that means the other wild card teams are also still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but hold on.
But the one thing is, I want it doesn't really specifically say that division winners don't get in the playoffs because I don't know if we've really seen it. I think the one year we might have, our division winner maybe wouldn't have made the playoffs
if it wasn't like that.
But if you're just gonna do that, are you just gonna completely possibly have the chance of one division not make it at all?
Right, which would be the case. I get what you're saying, where you seed it as in the person who wins the division does guarantee a playoff spot, but that doesn't after you get that playoff spot, then it goes strictly to the record. So
which that I think would be better. This way it makes it mean something to win the division at least.
Right, I agree.
And there's some other no-name changes. Eagles submitted a change to make the playoff rule or the overtime rules be the same in the regular season as they are in the playoffs, where both teams get a chance. The Steelers want to be able to talk to pending free agents a little earlier, and then there's a change submitted by multiple teams that would allow kicking balls before game day, as teams are allowed to prepare the game balls before game day.
Huh.
But that's a kind of a no-name. I don't think it's
the Eagles rule,
talk about that.
I like the Eagles rule for the sake of it is kind of stupid that if you win a coin toss, you can win the game and the other team doesn't touch the ball at all. I know the argument to that is you stop them on defense, but if you're a team, it is you should get a chance to each side play both sides of the field.
Yeah, but then the argument is you've had 45 minutes to have a chance.
Right, but so did the other team. Why did they get they get the edge?
I mean, it's also I think they're just kind of going back to the player safety thing. Let's not make the games even longer.
Yeah, run time,
more plays and stuff like that. But I mean, I think it would be overall be better because there's not many times we see that actually happen. But when it does, it feels like it's like a big thing that happens. I mean, and you can't make it be like, oh well, if the two teams stink and they don't care for the playoffs, then we won't use that rule. But if they're like two top contending teams, then we use it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, goes back to I think not this recent playoffs, but I think it was the one before it where it was the Bills and the Chiefs, and like Josh Allen never got the ball in OT, and he was like eating the Chiefs defense up, and could have easily driven down and scored, but Chiefs got the coin toss, got a touchdown, and it was game over. And Josh Allen doesn't like. That's the other thing too. Like, but wasn't that in the playoffs?
Well, no, there was another one that was in the regular season that it happened.
Oh, okay.
But I think that the one you're talking about was in the playoffs. But that was before they changed the rule.
They changed the rule for the playoffs, but not for the regular season.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. I feel like it was a playoff game.
No, it was, but that was before they made the rule.
Yeah.
The thing for the playoffs.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because those are the primetime moments. Those are the ones you want to see each guy play. But I think it might come down to one, like you said, the health thing, but also regular season. There's so many games on, and you don't need those games going any longer than they need to be. Like they want those regular season games to end at a timely manner.
Yeah, because
there's so many on one day.
Yeah, that like you do the 1 o'clock games are usually supposed to end right when the 4 o'clock games come on. 4 o'clock. I mean, actually,
how's Scott Hansen gonna handle like 20 games at once or like 10 games at once?
I'll handle it. It'll be fine. So I have no problems. I have no worries about Scott Hansen.
Yeah, sure.
Other than that, other NFL news, we have Mekhi Becton signs of the Chargers, but I think we got like a second, third, and fourth round pick for the 2026 draft as compensatory picks.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. We have a lot of picks in the next year's draft. Crazy.
I want to make sure we talk about the guy the Eagles just picked up because everyone's freaking out about them too.
Well, Cooper Kupp did also sign with Seattle Seahawks.
Yes.
So Sam Darnold now has some wide receivers, which good for him.
Did you saw this pickup, right?
I saw one person we got from like the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants guy. It's like Azeez Ojulari, I think his name, or Azai, but he's an edge rusher that is a Georgia Bulldog, and people are raving that he like had a great season last season, like balled out, and the Eagles got him on a 1-year deal, like for $4 million, I think it was. Like it was a pretty cheap contract, and like for the value that he puts out, and coming to a team that's already has a loaded defensive line, they think he's gonna be like that's gonna be like an accusation that not to Zach Baldwin level, but people are gonna be like, how the do they get him for $4 million?
Yeah. I did see a Giants fan tweet out something like, "Oh, like that guy's hamstring after the Eagles put him out for a whole drive, and it was like a brisket, just."
Yeah,
moving very just. It was like I guess a joke they got. He would have no hamstring left. It's like, what is this? He
does have health problems.
Yeah, well, but they did the same kind of stuff for when we signed Saquon. It's like, oh, that didn't really work out.
Yeah,
so
true.
It might be okay.
Healthy whole season.
Not really NFL news. More X.com, the everything app. NFL related news. There's a Twitter account by Bill's Muse. I think the kid's in 3rd grade. He's got. It's a very very bad essay he put up, and there's a little bit of a problem I think where some of these accounts on X.com are run by 12-year-olds that did not experience any of the NFL that we know.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't think you did. You have to kind of live on X.com to understand these things.
Would you say his name was what? Bill's?
His name is Bill's Muse. He's affiliated. His account is affiliated with Stat News. So there's a bunch of and I mean that's the handwriting of a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Okay. So what is this?
I'm just saying. It's just.
What's the news here, Ryan?
I'm just saying a lot of these accounts. If you're getting shit on or whatever online and you're getting in arguments, just remember that kid or that person might be about 15 years old.
Oh, so Bill's Muse is a troll account that kind of shits on people.
Yeah, a lot of times.
And what you're saying is they posted this picture and it's an essay that in his handwriting and it clearly looks like he's only like 10 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. I was lost in the sauce trying to follow you.
It's more just like remember, the person on the other side might not be able to drive a car.
Right, I understand. I gotcha. Yeah, these kids got more free time than most, so don't take anything too hard. Okay, you lost me heavily in that story. I was like, there's a guy on Twitter, Bill's Muse, and he might be 10 years old. I was like, well what did he do, right? Yeah. You said he wrote an essay. I was like, okay, this kid wrote an essay. What happened?
You have to be a little bit too much on X.com to understand what was going on here.
Sounds like it.
But moving on to the NBA, Sixers doing a good job losing. We had a 25-point lead the other night against Houston and still came out with a loss. So good job on the boys
taking that fat L.
Yeah. Now I have a little bit of a problem with tonight's game. We play the Thunder and they have 3 players sitting out, including SGA. He's sitting out for rest. Can you just take a guess when the last time they played was? Why he might need the rest?
Was it yesterday?
No, it was Sunday.
Okay.
And then the next game they play is Friday. So he needs rest on the one game this week that he plays.
Right. I mean, to argue for the sake of the Thunder, I think they can beat the Sixers without SGA.
Yes,
So
but the problem is they're the team that wants us to lose or wants us to win the most, because if we win, it gives us a harder chance to keep our pick that they would get. So
oh.
I think there's some colluding going on here.
So
where they're sitting
they
players.
want us to win.
Yes, I think they're
Okay.
colluding a little bit to get us to win this game.
Gotcha. I mean,
So, Adam Silver, please look into this.
yeah. I mean,
This is tampering.
I argue if they lose, if the Thunder lose, then I can 100% agree with that. But the Sixers lose, it's just looked at as like, yeah, we clearly did not need our star player to win this game. So
This is a fair
this was
argument.
a very smart move by us giving him another like long rest period.
It's a fair argument, but
We'll see how this game turns out and if we need to.
But I
hit
think
commish.
Sixers are pretty locked in with not making the play-in, which is nice. We're like 5.5 games out of the play-in, with Chicago, Miami at the 9 and 10 spot, and then Toronto's like a half game behind us, and they're 5.5 out. So I guess we're 6 games behind.
Mm-hmm.
But the West is super, super close, with their like 2 through 8 seeds all within a couple games of each other. So it's kind of a free for all. Let me get the standings up. You have Houston at 44 and 25, and then you go all the way down to Memphis at 43 and 26 in the 5th seed. So you got Houston, Denver, LA, Lakers, and then Grizzlies all within a game of each other. And then even the Warriors are only 3 games behind that at the 6th seed. So it's going to be kind of an interesting watch to see who gets those seeds, and it kind of depends on like who you're going to play in the second round possibly, or the first. Getting Luka helps a lot. I kind of like the Lakers a lot this year going into the playoffs. Houston, young team, good team ball, but I don't think they're going to do much. So they would be a team I wouldn't mind playing in the second round. And then, I mean, Denver could always do it. But, I mean, OKC has a large lead on first place.
Yeah.
So it's kind of another reason why SGA doesn't need to play. They don't need to win this game at all.
They really do not need him for this game.
They can almost lock up first place in the West in like 2 games.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. I'm not too mad at it. I don't think you gotta look into this.
I will be mad if we win.
Yeah, I can see it. Yes, that makes sense as well. Like SGA is one thing, but you start seeing some other starters getting benched too. I'm like, okay, you don't gotta start bench the whole. This is still a real game, and the fact that our pick is on the line with the win, I can see that being a little problematic. I am excited to talk to you about March Madness. Are you done with your NBA talk yet?
Yeah, I'm done. The only other thing I had was Tracy Morgan threw up on the court at MSG.
Oh.
So he was too grossed out by the Knicks.
Yeah. That is pretty good. Tracy Morgan, all-time Knicks fan, threw up on the court.
Took him 6 minutes to clean it up.
Yeah. All right.
He is doing better health, so he's okay.
I guess break down your March Madness news, and then do you want to just cover our final, like our Elite Eight?
Yeah. So one of the news is you got Will Wade, coach of McNeese State. He's going against his alma mater in the first round, Clemson. But I just saw news today he is taking a deal to become NC State's next head coach. Which this is kind of like, he's obviously going to still coach in the tournament, but you hate seeing this news where the coach kind of announces he's going to take a job and then he still has to like
play for the team that he's not going to be on next year.
Yeah, because it's like if you're in the locker room and you're seeing your coach is signed to go somewhere else, you're like, dude, what the fuck?
Especially you're like a sophomore, junior who like got convinced by the coach to come to this team, and it's like, oh, well, peace out, coach. Like, yeah, this is our last ride together, even though I wanted to commit to this team. Like, yeah, it is. It does suck.
The only other the big news around that, or just the tournament in general, was everyone thought North Carolina did deserve to be in it. I don't think they deserve to be in it. They had no quad 1 wins, and they lost to a quad 3 team. Bad team. But I still think they might be able to win a couple games. Just because you win games doesn't mean you deserve to be there.
I'm trying to think if I definitely had UNC winning at least 1 or 2.
Well, they're historically a team that usually makes it so, not knowing that they maybe didn't deserve it. I mean, the SEC got 14 teams in, which I think is just absurd. But, I mean, this year there's a couple. Like, you have Louisville as an 8 seed. They're the only team in the AP top 10 that didn't get a 1, 2, or a 3 seed. They're the 10th team ranked in the AP poll, and they're an 8 seed. That was kind of egregious, kind of screwing over Auburn, possibly in the second round, as they might have to face them.
Who's UNC playing first round? Do you know? What seed were they?
They're playing Ole Miss, which Ole Miss is fraudulent. So that's kind of why I think there's a chance
I
that
thought for sure I picked them over Ole Miss.
I think there's a solid chance UNC beats Ole Miss in the first round, but then gets beat by Iowa State in the second round. First round, Iowa State plays Lipscomb. Lipscomb has like 3 or 4 guys on their starting 5 that shoot the 3 ball very, very well, like over 35%.
You say they beat North Carolina and then play Iowa State, right?
Well, North Carolina would play Ole Miss and then would play Iowa State if Iowa State makes it the second round.
Okay, that's how I have it going too. Is Iowa State's beats North Carolina in the second round.
I think there's a chance Ohio State is one of the upsets in the first round because they
No
are
shit.
outside the top 130, I think, in team 3-point defense, and their team they're facing is probably one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the tournament.
And they're playing Lipscomb. You
Yep,
think
Lipscomb.
gonna be Iowa State
They
first
have like
round.
4 dudes that shoot the 3 ball very well.
Okay, that'd be
So
exciting.
I think I'm not picking it because I think Iowa State's a good team, but that's a team that's one of the upsets I would not be surprised at seeing.
That's gonna be a fun day of watching basketball tomorrow. I'm excited for it.
Some of these predicting upsets, I try and be like, all right, I'm not going to predict the crazy upset. Yeah, because it's like, all right, if Lipscomb wins, they're probably going to get beat the next round or the round afterwards.
Yeah.
And in your bracket challenges, you get the most points by having like the Final Four, the Elite Eight correct.
Right.
So I think there's a better chance Iowa State makes the Elite Eight than Lipscomb does. So I'd rather just, pick that team because, if you pick the upset in the first round, it looks cool for like a couple days. And then when you're at the bottom of the bracket because your Final Four is filled with 10 seeds, you're not really going to have a good time.
No, and I don't really have many massive upsets. I think the highest one I probably have is UNC's an 11 seed beating Ole Miss, which is a big one. And then I have like Vanderbilt beating St. Mary's 10-7, which isn't even that big, but
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, you have your typical 5-12s. Like I have Colorado State beating Memphis. That's my 12-5. I think McNeese State can beat Clemson, but I think there's probably a better
about
chance. they
Oregon and
don't.
Liberty.
Liberty is a good team. There's Liberty plays with some pace. There's a good chance they could beat Oregon.
Really? That's a crazy one. Omaha versus St. John's is a 15-2.
St. John's is a very good team. They're
Okay.
not really good at shooting the ball, but they play insane defense.
Yeah, okay. I have that.
So that's a
going
team
pretty
I
well.
like them a lot, but I don't really see them going. I see them maybe Elite Eight upset.
Okay. All right. I think that's where I have it at, actually. All right. Do you want to cover our Elite Eight then?
Yeah, let's see it. So my Elite Eight currently as stands, subject to change. I have Auburn beating Iowa State.
Ooh. Me too.
I have Florida beating Texas Tech.
Oh, that's my upset. I have Texas Tech beating Florida.
Florida is probably going to be the most picked team to win the tournament.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking at that and I thought about changing it though. So I changed it and I think it went back.
I
Okay.
have Duke beating Bama.
Oh, okay. I didn't
So-
have Duke making it to the 8.
Currently, a lot of 1 seeds winning, but this is where it changes. I have Gonzaga beating Illinois in the Midwest.
Oh,
So that's my one kind of
Right.
weird region.
Can I tell you what? I don't have Gonzaga making that the first round.
That's fine.
I don't have I have Kentucky beating Houston as an upset in the.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll see. But okay, so going through here, similar one of Rye. Actually, same exact. I had Auburn beating Iowa State in the South. In the West, I have Texas Tech beating Florida, but I kind of looked at that again, and I'd rather see Auburn beat Florida than in the next round than Texas Tech. So I think I wanted to change that. I think I actually am going to change that. I don't like that. I have Arizona beating Alabama in the East, and then I have Kentucky beating Houston in the Midwest. Kentucky's making it to the end and losing to Auburn.
So
Who do you have winning the whole thing?
currently have Duke, but I might change that because I think there's a lot of people that are going to pick Duke to win. So I'm kind of think I don't know if I want to pick.
Want to come to Auburn with me?
That was my idea, but
Yeah.
seeing you have Auburn makes me feel like like a weasel.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean,
Because I don't want to pick Florida. I think they're going to be picked a lot. Duke is kind of the other one.
yeah,
I
but
would
didn't Duke just lose their best guy?
He's back. He's back. He'll be back by round 2 or 3. That's why it was just a little little ankle roll. No problem.
Around 2 or 3. Okay, I possibly have him on it. I have him losing by his first game back in round 3. That's gonna be hard. Oh shit. Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
I mean, Tennessee. I do have Tennessee getting upset by Illinois. They're a team that could probably go pretty deep.
Tennessee. I
Yeah.
have.
They're the 2 seed in the Midwest.
Yeah, I got them.
You probably have them up being beat by Kentucky.
I have them beating UCLA and then.
Getting beat by Kentucky. Then.
Yes.
Oh, I have VCU beating BYU. That's one of my upsets. I'm possibly thinking about doing the Akron Zips beating Arizona. It's another
you.
upset. I'm kind of.
I have Arizona going for. I love Arizona. I took them to win the whole thing last year, and they made it to I think maybe 16 or 8. No, they made it to 8 at least. But then they went down. But I gotta have them going to at least 8 again.
We do have in the second round. We could see number 2 Michigan State play number 7 Marquette, and I think it was either last year or 2 years ago. Those roles were reversed as Michigan State saw Marquette with Michigan State was a 7 seed, Marquette was a 2 seed, and Michigan State upset them. So we might see the exact reversal this year.
Yeah, I'm swapping my shit around. I really did not. I thought Duke's guy was out for a while.
Nope, he's back.
Yeah, I'm taking Duke to lose in the Final Four then to Kentucky.
That's fair.
Bold.
Yeah, I hate doing chalk, but at the same time, it kind of also works. I gotta go back and double check all my all the random stats where it's something like since 2004. Every champion has been in the top 10 of the Week 12 AP poll. There's been no champion like west of Texas since 1997.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of other ones. I think all of them were like adjusted top 20 in offense and adjusted top 40 in defense. I let all those accounts online do all those things for me, and then just give me like the 4 teams that could win it all.
Yeah.
And then pick someone else because I forget about that as soon as I go to make my bracket. Like, I don't know this team. I don't know. Also, BYU not allowed to play on Sunday, so we'll see how far they go.
Okay.
It's a Mormon thing. I don't know.
It's
why.
a Mormon thing, yeah.
I don't get it.
All
It would
right.
have been kind of funny if the committee was like, "No, you're doing it. I don't care."
So yeah, I mean we have till tomorrow to swap our picks around, but for the most part, yeah, I have Auburn being Kentucky in the finals. You think you're gonna switch your winner overall?
It's probably gonna go with Duke or Auburn.
Okay.
But yeah, that's probably where I'm gonna go. I do think there's a good chance Florida does win it all, but in the thought that if I can get lucky and Florida gets beat in the Final Four, then
your points are going to skyrocket
Yeah.
because a lot of teams are going to take Florida.
Exactly.
I hear that. I'm just worried that a lot of my 3 seeds that I have going far losing early is going to really plummet me.
I'm pretty confident with most of mine, although Texas Tech is kind of that's like I said, St. John's is a good team, but they don't shoot the ball often and they don't really shoot the ball well. So I'm kind of wondering how long their defense team can take them.
Yeah.
But I don't have the most respect for Texas Tech. Might end up switching that to Missouri, but we'll see.
All right. Well, that is our March Madness brackets. Next week we will give you an update on how they look, who's winning, who's losing.
Yeah, maybe one of ours are perfect still. Probably not, but maybe.
Probably not. I mean, by next week we're recording, it'd be how far into it already?
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16.
So we'll get through. We'll tell you if we have the first 2 rounds correct or not.
Yeah, probably not, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I'll get it. I got it.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
Easy.
Going back to last week's draft, we did post it pretty late in the week. We actually posted it like the day that we're recording today. It's just our editor had a pretty crazy week, so we couldn't get it out as early as we would have liked. I don't think the results are going to change much, though, Rye. I don't know about you. I think you're the only one voting for yourself in this one.
Yeah.
I pretty much dominated this draft. Brad Pitt draft was a big dub for me. We're going a little bit wacky on this one as well. We are going to draft like awkward moments, like awkward things that have happened to you in your life, like kind of things that everyone can relate to.
I don't think these have to happen to me.
No,
Just
by no
okay.
means, but like awkward occasions that happen to people
All
in
right.
like stages of life. So
You got first pick.
I do have first pick. I want to take this number 1 because it just happened to me, and I think it happens to people probably the most throughout all of life. But like missing a step when you're walking down up and down the flight of steps, and just like slamming down on the ground in front of like a group of people, like happened literally at our St. Patty's Day party this week, where I was walking in from outside, kitchen full of people, and I just went dropped, like almost fell completely down on this muddy ass kitchen floor, and just because I thought there was an extra step, and I just completely ate shit. So I would say missing a step or tripping up steps is my number 1.
It's a good pick. I think with my number 1, I'm going to go when you wave at someone that you thought was waving at you, but it turns
Ooh.
out it was waving at someone behind you.
I do
That's
like
always
that
an
one,
awkward
too.
walk because then you realize you're like, oh, shit. Because at first you're like, I don't think I know this person, but like maybe I do.
Yeah.
Here's a wave, and then it's like, not at me. Especially like, as a guy, if it's like a girl, and you're like, oh, maybe like this like cute girls are waving at me, and then it's like, nope, it's actually her friend behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Never a good one. Next one I'm going to go with is you're in the handicap stall using the bathroom, and we're clearly not handicapped, but, someone in a wheelchair walks up or rolls
Rye,
up.
You're
knocks-
butchering a great pick that I have, and it's fucking pissing me off now because that's such a unique scenario of somebody in a wheelchair pulling up onto the fucking. Oh, that's brutal. I'm pissed off at you now. That was my favorite pick I had was coming up next. Okay,
bad.
continue
Well,
with it.
You ruined my answer.
I know. Go ahead.
You're
Go ahead.
in the handicap stall, and someone in a wheelchair rolls up, and you have to figure out the way to get out of that situation.
That sucks, dude. Because my favorite pick I had was someone knocking while you're in the bathroom.
Well, knocking while you're in the bathroom, that's not awkward.
I know, but
it's
like,
the wheelchair part that, you see the wheelchair under the little
Yeah, but-
stall.
someone knocking while you're in the bathroom happens to people every single day. How often have you been in a handicap stall and someone in a wheelchair came up to you?
No, but I also don't think it's that awkward if someone knocks on the bathroom.
If you're in the bathroom and someone knocks, you don't like. What do you say to that person?
Occupied?
I know, but I always feel like I do a voice like occupy. Like I feel like I panic for it. Like you don't think that's a weird moment?
No, because also
All right, fine. I won't take it then. All right.
No, take it. I mean,
No, because you kind of ruined it. So, you have another. You did 2 picks, right?
Yep.
All right. I have back when we were in school and you called your teacher mom.
That's a good one. I didn't think about that.
I hated that. Like you just immediately freeze when that happens.
Yep.
And when someone either like goes to dab you up or give you a high five and you give them knuckles, or you just completely blatantly miss the high five, like nothing worse than doing like that to somebody. Or
It's a good one.
yeah, so that's my other one.
All right, so my final 2 picks. I've clogged a toilet at a friend's house. You gotta go and you just gotta be like, hey, there's no plunger in there.
I did it once in my high school girlfriend's house, and I had the dad come in. I'm like, not sure how to fix this problem.
That's even worse, I think.
Yeah.
And then my last one, I don't think it's not necessarily the best one, but you just fart in an elevator that you're not alone in.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like the more people in there, the easier it is to get away with. But like if it's just one other person, they clearly know it's not them.
Yeah.
So they're just like eyes fixed on you.
I would even say like thinking of farts can be silent and it not
Oh,
being silent at all is a rough one. But my final pick, I'm kind of gonna dig back into growing up, but when your voice would crack, is just brutal. Like that was just a time period of your life. I mean, even like I feel like you can still get an occasional, very rare one, but like back when it was like you were afraid to talk in front of people because it would crack so often was absolutely brutal. So like standing up in front of a class and your voice cracking, or just like yelling across the hall to somebody and your voice cracks, was just absolutely a nightmare.
And just get ruined by all your friends for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, like yeah.
I guess honestly, some of that might be taking the awkwardness out, where you're just getting made fun of. But
I don't know, but like in the moment of it happening, the first reaction is just
yeah.
absolutely embarrassment. I guess some honorable mentions I have is fly being down for long and not knowing how long it was down for. I said someone knocking when you're in the bathroom.
I mean, I just have first dates. First dates in general are just awkward.
First dates, yeah.
When you kind of gave me the idea, it doesn't have to be something we've been a part of. Just you're in a duel, in an old school Western duel, and you just both turn around, both your guns are jammed. It's gotta be an awkward moment.
What?
You're just both sitting there, you're just going to shoot the gun in the duel, and both your guns are jammed.
Yeah, oh, shit.
Like my gun's jammed, your gun's jammed. I guess God didn't want either one of us to die today.
Yeah, let's continue this battle to the death in 10 minutes when we unclog our guns. Oh shit, that's a weird one.
That's what I mean. That was a throwaway pick if you picked all
yeah.
of
That would have been the funniest fucking fourth pick. He's like, back when you used to go and gun duels and both your guns were jammed.
It had to be super awkward.
Yeah. All right. I guess to recap our picks. Recapping awkward moments. I have missing a step or tripping up a flight of steps or down a flight of steps in front of somebody. Very awkward. And even if you catch yourself, you can't do that quietly. I have calling your teacher mom. Sucked. Missing a high five or giving them knuckles when they're high fiving you. And back in the day when your voice would crack. Brutal.
Recap my picks. I have waving at someone that you thought was waving at you, but they were waving at the person behind you. I also have using the handicap stall when you're not handicapped, and then you see a person in a wheelchair rolling up to that stall and knocking on it. I have clogging a toilet at a friend's house, and then fart in an elevator.
It's a good draft, Ryan. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is gonna be a close one, or I think you might have it with us because you have some funny ones on there. Like clogging the toilet was a great one. I don't know how I didn't think of that one. For how much I take a shit, like I was surprised that wasn't top of my list of clogging toilets.
I was surprised that one didn't get taken.
I used to be so. I would clog toilets and just like to go to my parents like we have to leave and like just dip out on it every single time. Like I've never like if I did it at somebody's house, my first reaction was just complete panic and just dip out, like never fix the problem.
It's helpful. I mean, if they have like a plunger in there, you can kind of just fix the situation yourself.
I know,
but it's a problem of like having to walk out and be like, yeah, there's no plunger in here.
I think I tried to do it once and it started overflowing. So then I was like,
oh yeah, that
I
makes
panicked
it way
and I'm
worse.
like, I'm never gonna do this. I'm never gonna even attempt to fix it anymore. I'm just running, run away from my problems. That is our awkward moments draft. We're gonna try and get this out early enough that you guys can make sure you vote on the Instagram. I love comments on the TikTok. TikTok has been doing a lot better with the drafts, but if you're seeing this on TikTok, please make sure you go on the Instagram and vote, please. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys do well with your brackets, and we'll give updates next week on ours.
I also saw there's a bet on DraftKings where you can bet if there's ever going to be a buzzer beater in the tournament. I think yes was
shit.
plus 100. That's just a fun bet to take.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
The entire tournament.
entire tournament.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely that's a shoe-in for.
You think it's a shoe-in, but it's not always happened. But why not? Root for something cool to happen.
Yeah, especially if you're
doesn't
watching.
matter who wins in the buzzer beater.
Yeah, it would be a moment where like even if your team loses on the buzzer beater, you're like, yeah, I still made that $10.
Yeah, exactly. You can kind of win your money back on the team you bet on if they lose.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Good luck in your brackets, and we will see you next week.
See it.